brutality. So we're actually going to be seeing double end zap on the side of 4Apple. Meanwhile, Rissa going to be sticking with the junior. That'll be the support for them. So 4Apple going with a very interesting composition. I bet one is probably going to be trying to be the main Rainmaker carrier, and the other one might be more of a support-focused end zap. And end zap's a very good weapon in and of its own right. Well, on the side of Carnage, they have the Junior, they have the Neo Splash-O-Matic, they have the C-Jet, they also have a Vanilla Slosher, which is a good weapon for this mode, but not always the most common.
Yeah, definitely not most common, especially double end zap with this much lack of range and lack of... If the end zaps are dead, they literally don't have enough turf to push in, and they will have an exploit that 4Apple will have over... I'm sorry, Carnage Game will have over 4Apple.
Oh, Carnage Gaming starting out very strong. Arista taking it all the way to 43 points remaining. 4Apple looking for a return push in their own right. Kite all the way up in Carnage Gaming's territory, but will go down as Ozzy finally with the Slosher. That's another one hit on the Rainmaker, and just like that, 4Apple's down to one of their end zaps.
It seems to me that the second end zap is the one that is surviving the most. It was the one that carried the Rainmaker when picked it up, and Risa with the Armor Junior. We also have here Captain Toad dropping by.
That's not going to make sense if Toad gets back to the camera.
Thank you, Nitro, for contributing with the plushie collections. It will be appreciated.
So that's just going to continue on, and we're just going to have more and more plushies. Either way, Carnage Gaming back on the offensive. I believe Rissa going down to the combination of Rain and another support player. But Carnage Gaming still has players in the area. They're going to continue to jump players in. And just like that, Power can find a couple of picks here with their teammate. This could be bad for 4Apple.
I was hoping Power would have gone for the strategy where they jump from the crates to the right side crate in order to just be a little bit more aggressive, which is risky play. But because Power is the one, he's slaying, he's being the front line, and you notice how the movements from Power includes making sure that the frontliners of the opposite team or the midliners don't get even near close to the middle of the stage. And even though Power is a master of Charger, he's still an amazing player just because he already is showing that he can play every weapon class or every weapon position.
Yeah, 2 down on the side of, for both teams. Shiny going to be watching over the area with this custom Jet Squelcher. Trying to find another pick. If they can get this, could be huge for Carnage Gaming. You know, 4Apple, all 4 players going to survive right back into somewhat of a neutral position. The Rainmaker still favoring Carnage Gaming a little bit, as well as the map positioning in general. However, Power is going to actually go down, and Shiny's going to jump back, just holding on to this little bit of charge that they have left. And just like that, 4Apple have another chance. They're going on the offensive. Ray going to come online and take out 4Apple on the Rainmaker, not to be confused with the team name. But just like that, they have so many players that can carry this Rainmaker. They're not afraid to just pop it again and try and push it forward. But Carnage Gaming pulls out a very strong defensive play. Lots of bombs coming in. Frank going to grab the Rainmaker just to keep it there. And they do have teammates to support them, but unfortunately 2 of them are going to go down as Shiny helps find a double right there. Carnage Gaming holds on defense.
The problem that I'm seeing with 4Apple right now, they are taking a very rush approach because 43 points is not such a big lead. I'm trying to remember the play. There's a very risky where you jump off underneath the bridge that goes up and down, but I believe it's 45 points. So 4Apple is just taking a rush on the Rainmaker. Like the CDS getting the Rainmaker wasn't the best idea, given that means that the end zaps with the K-Pro will have to get the necessary splats in order to get the lead. And now with 50 seconds remaining, Carnage Gaming is literally managing to put the Rainmaker at the enemy base just so it becomes even harder for them to push. They're not taking the Rainmaker back, they're just keeping it there. Like Shiny's just making control, I have mid, you can't do anything.
Yeah, Shiny finding all of the picks right there. One with the Stingray, another one with just the C-Jet, and one with the Burst Bomb and the C-Jet a little bit later. And just like that, Carnage Gaming is right back on their feet. They're continuing to hold this Rainmaker there, and even if it does reset to mid, Carnage Gaming still has pretty much full control of mid. And for Apple, doesn't really have the specials necessary to break in. They do have another set of armor at the ready, and the Rain if they choose to use it. Probably going to need to use Rain on this push. As Shiny actually jumps back, they do have the Ray, however. Kite trying to dodge, goes up the wall, actually manages to avoid it for the most part. And Kite survives the GG Ray, but won't be able to survive the oncoming push. Carnage Gaming takes game 1.
Did you know that actually the GG Ray is canon in Splatoon? If you talk to Callie and Marie in Splatoon the Octo Valley,
yeah,
they actually say that the Stingray in the last minute of the match is called the Shiny Victory Beam, but you have to put an emphasis on the beam. And that's what Carnage Gaming was doing. Like the GG Ray did not happen, but it was just enough to disrupt all the setup that the for Apple had in order to push the Rainmaker, because it wasn't to get the splats, but you notice that by the time that they were avoiding the Ray, everyone from Carnage Game respawned.
The Ray being used really well, not just as a tool to finish out the game, but also just to force a bad position out of for Apple.
And stall.
Yeah, and even just stall.
Now, my memory falls flat. I don't remember the second map. Let's see if I can guess.
Well, if you close your eyes real quick, I'm sure that we can
it's all dark.
map list right up there. Cool, you're doing great.
I would like to ask the stream, like, right, but I think the mic's gonna pick it up and it's not gonna be good. Let's start with. Oh, I remember. It's Wahoo Zones.
Right. Oh, right. I was actually playing a scrim earlier, and we were just using these maps.
So we both remember it, but we don't. Great to know.
I don't know if I remember it, but. Alrighty, here we go. We're going to be seeing Splat Zones on Wahoo World, followed by Tower Control on Megamart. And if we get there, we have Clam Blitz on the Reef to look forward to, followed by Rainmaker on Snapper Canal if we need that game 5.
A lot of Rainmakers.
Yeah.
Having a little bit of struggle with Rainmaker in general on this specifically Snapper. But let's talk about Zones Wahoo. Do you think? I mean, C-Jet's not that well played here. People can flex it or not, but I don't think Carnage Gaming will be pulling that out. I think Shiny will be using the 5-frame for sure, and Reese is still with the armors. Definitely gonna be, most likely, just a very heavy paint comp.
Well, as we get into game 2 start, actually don't have a look at the compositions yet.
Already hit the first armor, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Rissa going to be sticking with that Splattershot Junior, the notable armor weapon. We're actually going to be seeing the E-Leader out of Shiny, I believe, as Power Gaming switching to the Neo Splashmatic. Slosh are going to continue to be used on the side of Carnage Gaming. Meanwhile, for Apple, they've abandoned the double N-Zap, instead favoring the Neo Splashmatic, as well as the 1052 Gal, which is a very popular weapon nowadays. Sticking with the vanilla dually squelchers instead of custom dually squelchers, using those missiles to try and gain a little bit more positional advantage, and carrying over one of the N-Zaps as well.
Honestly, I think this match is perfect for Risa, because look at this. There is not a single lethal apart from the N-Zap with the suction bomb. They have point sensors, they have a wall, they have a burst bomb, but with a short range attached to it, and the suction bomb from the N-Zap. Yeah. So Risa, just now we saw, was just painting the zone as if she really didn't care, because no one could contest the range if the E-Leader is behind you.
Yeah, just a really great team play coming out. I'm not sure if they had an idea of what for Apple was going to take into this round as far as their weapon composition. But either way, really good adaptation to find out
the RNG was
a way. Yeah, either way, a really good adaptation to figure out what works, what strategies you can use, and to just take advantage of them. And they're going to take the lead again based off that. Power going to go ahead and find the K52 Gal, but not until after they pop the Booyah Bomb. Going to immediately get painted over by Carnage Gaming, however, as they continue to have firm control of this zone.
And that's also the difference of Carnage Gaming. They have the good coordination like Risa. Nice snap for Shiny right here. They have a good coordination of subs. When Risa is throwing a bomb, the soda, for, forgive me, they're also throwing it away, so no one can actually push in, and that's going to be game.
Yeah.
Uzi with the soda. That's the bucket.
Yeah, you talk about having good coordination, just Carnage Gaming firing on all cylinders right there, sweeping through game 2. And now for Apple needs to, they need to find this game. Doesn't necessarily mean that they would be out of the running if they are unable to find the game and go down a set. But it would make life a little bit harder to get out of redemption bracket.
So don't want to flex a little bit of math because I probably don't think anyone likes it math. But since there's 6 players, 6 teams that are going to go to top 16, it is always going to be 3 rounds. So we have the 2 teams that are winning 3-0s. Then we have 3 teams that are winning 2 and 1, and 1 out of 3 teams that are winning 1 and 2. Those are the top 6 most likely to happen. I'm not assuming there's going to be a triangle situation. It's like everyone wins like 2 1s, 2 1s, 2 1s, and it will have to be like trying to literally decipher this love triangle. But the likely scenario is going to be something like this. So even if you lose set, you can still make it 100% guarantee to top 6. So 4Apple doesn't need to be scared of losing to Carnage Gaming, but what they can do is adapt and learn the strategies that were being thrown right now to apply them for the next set.
Yeah, and adaptation is definitely going to be a big part of it. All teams are going to play a significant number of matches today as far as redemption bracket and even just every team in general. I think the only teams that are guaranteed to not have to play too many matches are the ones already sitting in top 16 who just have to get through the one round to top 8.
They're probably at the water park right now.
They probably are at the water park. Have you been to the water park yet?
No, I've been to the laser tag.
I also haven't been to the water park yet. I've been meaning to go tonight. A few of my friends went yesterday, and I ended up accidentally joining a Splatoon team here, so priorities, I guess.
K-Bot found you and put on a mic. You're staying here, gonna commentate. We need people. You're not going anywhere. And also, no paid.
And no paid.
For Michael TC, now we're jumping. What do you think now?
Mako Mart Tower Control. I'm not going to pretend like I know what either of these teams are bringing out. The only one I know is just Riss is going to be sticking with that junior. We're going to be seeing Shiny on the Bloblobber, which is a weapon that I've actually gotten to see a fair amount of just playing with friends. I think it's a really solid pick here, just being able to use the more vertical nature of those shots as well as just taking a lot of control away. Meanwhile, on the start of 4Apple, they're going to be switching over to a junior themselves, along with the Kansas Splatter Shot, the Firefin Charger, which is a more popular weapon for tower control these days, as well as the Kansas Splatter Shot Pro and the junior.
The junior. Don't forget about the junior. It's very important. But that's actually interesting. Compared from the previous matches to this one, now it's Carnage Gaming to have the least amount of range in between the teams. And if you do have the least amount of range, what do you do with the amazing rebounds of the blob? That bomb is going to get Shiny. Oh, it doesn't. That's okay. Shiny still stay alive, breaking the first checkpoint. It's just basically keep the map painted.
Yeah, and on a map like Mako Mart, it's not even that you necessarily need the range. You just need to be able to displace your opponents quickly enough. And the combination of specials that Carnage Gaming has, combined with just the frantic nature of the Bloblobber itself, really gives them an opportunity to continue to displace them.
Which is the thing now is that now we're finally seeing the 4Apple an opportunity to actually get more points into the map compared to other matches. Last matches we had, they almost were completely locked down in terms of like not being able to push. And right here, 4Apple Frank taking 2 people down, 3 people, I mean, with 2.5 because they were assists, but trying to get power. Will the 1v1? Frank falls back, throws the bomb, and disengages. I think it was a smart play.
I also think it was a smart play. In that time, the last remaining player on Carnage Gaming had managed to find another couple of picks on members of 4Apple. So Frank just staying alive right there and letting the rest of their team spawn back in was really nice, especially now that they have a more coordinated push and are continuing to push forward. Kite wielding this Firefin Splatter Scope on top of the tower, but Shiny going to try and displace them with the Bloblobber bubbles. Apple trying to hold on to this tower. Suction Bomb Rush coming out. Booyah Bomb coming out as well. And they're going to be able to hold it right here at the very least. 3 down, or 3 left on both teams right now. 1 down. But as Frank falls on the junior, it looks like this might be the end for 4Apple's push.
But getting to 38 and almost breaking checkpoint in 3 minutes of match, that was indeed very amazing. It's the first time we see 4Apple with the lead. And honestly, if they take a game from Carnage Gaming, that might help on the, that might help them in the future if they have to settle in between a tiebreaker or something.
Yeah, and now with 4Apple having the lead, they're able to play a little bit more defensive if they want to and fully utilize this longer range. We see Seth actually trading out 2 for 1 right there. 4Apple continuing to hold on defense, and Carnage Gaming is going to lose the tower.
Did you see what I saw with that sprinkler? A person hits 3 out of 4 shots with the blob and throws a sprinkler on the floor when they already don't have enough steps to win. Do you know what they wanted? They wanted this 3 worst words you can say in the Splatoon language. Splattered by sprinkler.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, especially with the Blob Lobber being a relatively uncommon weapon. Hey, I'm not going to pretend to know what Shiny thinks.
Shout out to Specky that plays the blob, my good friend.
Yeah. Shiny actually going to fall into a little bit of errant yellow ink right there, and as a result, going to fall to the Booyah Bomb. So 4Apple currently working with a 4-on-3. They have the advantage as far as player count goes. Carnage Gaming just looked very resilient on defense outside of that 1 push that that 4Apple got. And now Carnage Gaming has a 4-on-2 of their own.
Seth right here with the caper trying to get the pick on power. Gets a bit of it, but not to a splat bomb. Shout out to Risa for throwing the bomb the proper moment.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where the bomb is just far enough off screen to where you can't see it. It's one that you hate to see. I'm sure Rissa hates to see this onslaught of ink being thrown at the tower. Trying to stay on. As 4Apple, the player is going to trade out with Shiny, but Rissa able to hold on to tower long enough, takes the checkpoint, and 4Apple just down to their charger, finding another pick on power, and another on Shiny, and the charger has just held the line, but they're unable to hold the lead. Carnage trying to hold on to defense for just a little bit longer. 4Apple trying to stay in this set. Seth looking for any picks that they can find, trying to get this pick on the bucket. Will find Uzi on the bucket. So now, 4Apple, man advantage, tied immediately back up by Carnage Gaming. And Seth in a terrible situation, lots of ink being thrown at them right now. The charger goes down, bucket going to be contested. Power finds another pick, and Carnage Gaming will take the set 3-0.
Honestly, 4Apple deserves recognition for this set because the positioning the K-Pro had in most of the time the tower was on second checkpoint on Carnage Gaming's side. K-Pro knew about how its range could benefit the team they were playing so much and play defensive. Kite got a beautiful shots in the when they were defending. Unfortunate that moment that you have the range, you can shoot, you can hit the tower from far away. Barisa will avoid those shots and get the lead. But also, I think Uzi was underneath tower just in case something will happen. It was Uzi or Power. I might be mistaken over there. But, like, Carnage Gaming played very well on the last match. And 4Apple played as good as. And they definitely seem to be able to get one of the 6 spots of redemption together with Carnage Gaming. And maybe they will be seeing each other on top 16 again. And 4Apple might triumph this time.
Yeah. It would certainly take a lot given that these teams are playing for the 11th through 16th seeds, I believe, which would probably place them in a position where they'd need to make at least 1 upset over a team that won out their pool.
True. It's a little bit complicated in terms because like we already have the positioning for who is playing with who, regardless of the first, second, third place. It's already everything predetermined. So technically speaking, you could strategically look at the maps look at the people that are already placed because you already finished polls. I don't have everything with me right now to give you the idea that maybe fighting this person so might not be worth to going first place, second place. But right now we just want to, like, I think every team just want to get sick, like at least 1 out of 6, which is, remember, more than half of the redemption brackets.
Yeah.
So you're very likely to do very good on redemption and just move to top 16.
Indeed. I'm sure a lot of these teams are focusing way more on their positioning now as opposed to in the future, because the future isn't guaranteed.
Yeah, future is not guaranteed. Nothing in this life is guaranteed. You gotta take it by the neck and ask nicely, and be polite and drink water.
Just imagining trying to do all of those things at once.
I am holding 2 things. Like, have you seen me holding stuff in the event? I have to make 2 trips. K-Bot's already screaming at me for literally leaving my Switch on the other stand just because I had to hold these and then hold my bag.
You don't just let them drag behind you? Or is it like too heavy?
It
or
pulls
something?
my hair.
Yeah, I feel that.
Also, it breaks the illusion. Imagine if I take off the wig. It's not gonna look good.
I'm sure it would look fine.
Yeah, but breaks character. The same thing goes here. We are in character technically. We are casters.
Yeah.
But I still am a nice person in real life. Just giving you a heads up on that everyone knows me in person.
Yeah, Fern is a homie. The homie, in fact.
No, the homies were the ones that actually let us replay because of me not charging my Switch Pro controller. Like, I was like, okay, I have 5 warnings before it actually depletes. But the problem is that I needed a plug to charge it. I didn't see a plug by the time it was our match.
Oh, that sucks. Are you getting it charged now?
Yes, I'm getting it charged now.
Nice.
So we're gonna call it a break. We're gonna be setting up for the second round of redemption, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.